Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing good at home and welcome to the new academic year. Now you're all in 7th standard. Till last year, you have been studying science as a single subject. But this year onwards, you will be studying science as three parts: biology, physics, and chemistry. And the biology part will be taken by myself. All are familiar with me? Yes, my name is Jimmy. So let's start with the first lesson in biology, that is nutrition in plants. Nutrition you have already studied in 6th standard. What is nutrition? Or let's begin with what are nutrients. What are nutrients? Nutrients are the components of food that are necessary for the proper growth and development of our body, which means it is very essential, or if it is not present in our body, it can lead to growth problems or diseases, and it might affect the normal functioning of our body. So nutrients are all the components of food that are necessary for the proper growth and development of our body. Now you might be remembering what are the nutrients that are essential for our body. Which were the nutrients? There are mainly 5 categories of them, which are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals. Okay, along with that we also need roughage and water, and you have already studied what is the role of each of these in the previous year. Now, so what is nutrition? Nutrition is the mode of taking in food, the way by which we take in food, that is called nutrition. Based on these modes of nutrition, there are 2 kinds of organisms. One is autotrophic organisms and the other one is heterotrophic organisms. These words are actually new to you, but here onwards you will be hearing this term again and again in all the classes that are to come. So what is autotrophic nutrition? Let's see that. Autotrophic nutrition is the mode of nutrition in which organisms prepare their food using simple substances. Simple substances like carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, etc. Okay, so all the organisms which are able to prepare their own food can be called autotrophic organisms. This autotroph, that word comes from 2 words. One is auto and the other one is trophos. Auto means self and trophos means nourishment. So, all organisms which are able to prepare food using simple substances are called autotrophic organisms. Can you think of some examples for autotrophic organisms? We have studied in lower classes that plants are the only organisms that can prepare their own food. Yes, so these plants are example for autotrophs. Actually, it is not just plants which are able to prepare organisms. There are some bacteria also which can prepare their own organisms. They are also autotrophic. So here we will be studying about the nutrition in plants, how plants are preparing their food, using what all things they are preparing their food, etc. Now let's see how plants are preparing their own food. We all have already heard about this process called photosynthesis. It is the process by which plants prepare their own food using sunlight, water and carbon dioxide. These are the 3 main things that plants need for making their own food. These are the raw materials that they need for making food. Now, where is food made in plants, or in which part of the plant is food made? That also, it is in the leaves. Leaves are called the kitchen of plants, where the food is prepared. Let's see how the plants are getting all their raw materials like this carbon dioxide, water and sunlight, all these, how they are taking in to prepare food. We'll see that in detail. So the first one is carbon dioxide. Where is carbon dioxide present? Carbon dioxide is present all around us in the atmosphere. But how is this carbon dioxide getting into the plants or into the leaves? That is through small holes called stomata. Like we have nose for taking in oxygen and leaving out carbon dioxide. In leaves also there are small holes, many holes actually, which are called stomata, and through these holes the carbon dioxide is taken in. Then what about water? Where is water present? We know that water is present in the soil. Then from the soil, how is water getting to the leaves? We also know that it is the roots of plants that help to absorb water or take water from the soil. Now, once the water has reached the root, how does it reach the leaves then? It should reach the leaves, no? How is it reaching? Like we have many small tubes in our body for carrying our blood, likewise in plants also there are small tubes which help to carry these water and minerals. You will be studying about those tubes in some other lesson that is coming. Okay, towards the end of this year you will be studying about those tubes too. So now you just have to know that in plants there are some tubes which help in carrying the water and minerals to different parts of the plant. So the water from the soil will be reaching the leaves. Now they got carbon dioxide, they got water. Now what about sunlight, or what is the role of sunlight in photosynthesis? It is actually from this sunlight the plants are getting the energy to make their own food. Or for making food from carbon dioxide and water, they should use the energy that they get from the sunlight. In plants, there are some green pigments called chlorophyll. You might have heard about chlorophyll. Okay, it is the green pigment which helps in giving which gives green color to the plants, and the main function of this chlorophyll is that it helps to trap the sun's energy. It helps to catch or capture the sun's energy, and that energy will be used by the plants for making their food from carbon dioxide and water. So chlorophyll are green pigments present in the plants which help in trapping the sun's energy. See, actually sun is the ultimate source of energy. We say that sun is the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms. Why is it so? We are not getting food from sun, or we are not capturing the energy from the sun. Then why is it the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms? Because only plants have the capacity or that power to capture the energy from the sun. And it is this energy that is used for making food. And we know that all other organisms are depending on plants for their food. Right. So we are actually depending on plants for our energy, and the plants are depending on the sun for their energy. So actually, where is that energy coming from? Energy is actually coming from the sun, and we are all depending on that energy from the sun directly or indirectly. That is why it is called the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms. So we already said about this green pigment in leaves called the chlorophyll. Now then think about other leaves which have other colors. Like we also have seen other plants with red color leaves, some with yellow color leaves, etc. Does photosynthesis take place in such leaves too? Yes, because in that plants also, or in that leaves also, chlorophyll is present. But what happens is that in those plants, if it is a red colored plant, that red pigment will be high, or there will be a lot of red pigment, because of which the leaves look red. But at the same time, they are also having chlorophyll in them, which helps in photosynthesis. So all plants, whatever color their leaves are, they have chlorophyll in them, and they all conduct photosynthesis. Not only in these plants which are having red leaves and all, you might have also seen algae in ponds. Green patches or green color small patches you can see in some ponds. Those are called algae. These algae also have chlorophyll in them and they also can prepare their own food. They are also autotrophic. So, photosynthesis takes place not just in leaves but also other green parts of the plants which have chlorophyll, like in the green stem of plants. Say for example, in the case of desert plants, you know that in desert plants the leaves are very much reduced for preventing the loss of water. The leaves are actually reduced into spines, but they have green thick fleshy stem. That stem actually conducts photosynthesis in desert plants like cactus because the stem is having chlorophyll in it. So the stem will be conducting the photosynthesis. Now let's see how this or what is the equation of this photosynthesis. We already saw that carbon dioxide is needed for photosynthesis, water is needed for photosynthesis, and using this carbon dioxide and water, the plants will be preparing their food. Now, what is that food that the plants prepare from this carbon dioxide and water? That food is carbohydrate. And that carbohydrate that is prepared by the plant will be stored in different parts of the plant's body. Like it might be sometimes in the leaves itself, or sometimes it will be stored in the roots, etc. Okay, in the form of starch, these carbohydrates will be stored. Now, after this photosynthesis, not only carbohydrates is formed, but also oxygen is also released. That is why we have studied from lower classes onwards that plants give us oxygen. We get oxygen from plants, or if we want to breathe, we should get the oxygen from the plants, because plants release oxygen as a result of photosynthesis. So what all are produced after photosynthesis? Carbohydrate and oxygen. Carbohydrate is the food that is produced, which will be stored in different parts of the plant, and oxygen will be given out through the stomata, and that oxygen we take in for breathing.